Part 2, Janky Asian Theater, The Two Towers, and we get this name from Sauron's Tower, all the way in Mordor, and Dracula's Tower, who is co-starring today as Saruman in Isengard. Oh yeah. Isengard. I'm Dracula! Now, movie cuts open, and we've got Merry and Pippin being stormed away, if you remember from last time, to presumably be molested over and over and over again by these sweaty, horrible Uruk-hai. And they're taking them away and everything, and they are followed by Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, who've been running after them for several days. Now, moving back, we have this party, and they tie these two up, and they decide to have a fantastical rape party, but before that they want to eat and have enough energy. And they get into a fight because apparently all they've had to eat for the last couple of days is bloody moldy bread. So they decide maybe we can take one of their legs. But at this point, Hamas and the Riders of Rohan come in and SWAT style beat down everybody around them. Merry and Pippin get caught in the crossfire, and we don't know what happens to them because presumably they had their brains stomped out by a horse. Now, we go back to Aragorn and their splinter of the Fellowship, and they're riding around the plains, and they run into these riders and Hamas, and they're like, "Whoa, dude, cool, what's up? You guys are on horses. Have you by any chance seen two children? My name is Aragorn, this is Legolas, he is my lifetime partner, and this is our dog Gimli. Now, have you seen two children?" And they're like, "Yeah, we totally saw two little children earlier while we raided this Uruk-hai party. We may or may not have stomped their brains out, so we left them all in like this horrible smoking pile over yonder." So Aragorn and his lifetime partners and dog run over here and find a bunch of dead Uruk-hai. And they look around and they realize, oh shit, we lost Merry and Pippin, and Aragorn has a tiny little bitch fit, kicks a helmet, which in reality actually breaks the actor's toe, and he screams, and Legolas pulls off some really cool elven wilderness shit, and he's like, wait, no, they stumbled over here, did a somersault, jumped off of each other's shoulders, and cartwheeled away into the woods. So now, oh wait, they're not dead. Let's run after them. So they go on a yonder way. Now we're back to figuring out where Sam and Frodo are. They're sleeping by some god-forsaken cliff. That's a cliff now, people. And they're asleep when we see this horrible, sketchy-looking fellow stalking them from above, who turns out to be Gollum. Now, he falls over, and Sam and Frodo kind of beat the shit out of him. Frodo uses the rope that Galadriel gave him and ties it around his neck, and now they have a kind of bondage pet. And they're like, alright, yo, you're gonna take us to Mordor, and, oh wait, we're going to Mordor, you're coming with us, bitch, and they're like, yeah. Yeah. And they take him away. And we're back to this party. Now, they go in through the woods, and they find out that there's supposedly a horrible white wizard here. Now, who do we know who was the wizard the white? Saruman. Saruman the white. So, they go over there, and they prepare for a fight, and then, oh my god, there's like light everywhere, and Legolas's arrows are bouncing off from a lightsaber type of device, and lo and behold, it's Gandalf. Woo! Woo! Now, turns out he rezzed and leveled up after he fought this guy. As a recap from the first movie, he fell off the bridge into eternity for like 70 years, fought him in free fall for like, I don't know, however long, stabbed him in the heart, somehow ended up on the peak of a mountain and finally stabbed the guy right before he keeled over from a heart attack of old age. And then he was reborn again as Gandalf the White. The White. Now, he tells him, hey guys, alright, Merry and Pippin are okay, they're with this thing called an Ent. Now,
Oh.
We don't know, they fall later. Ignore that. Now, we have the Ent, and he's got Merry and Pippin, and he's taking them over to Ent Court to figure out if the Ents are going to join in war for Middle-earth. So they go over there, and it's about 20 minutes of talking and character exposition, and oh god, there goes Pippin. And he takes them over into the woods, and they start talking shit. But we're back to Gandalf, and he's got this totally bitchin' horse called Shadowfax. And they ride off to Rohan. Now, Rohan is the land of the horse riders, which is really cool. We're thinking of knights and shit. And they're led by this really cool guy called Theoden. Now, this is his throne. Theoden is a really cool guy, but it looks like he's seen better days. Theoden. And his main advisor, Grima Wormtongue, who's totally not wanting to bang his daughter. His niece. Fuck.
Eowyn. You forgot Éomer too.
Eowyn and Éomer. And Éomer has been in a skirmish before with some of the Urks and everything, and he's on his deathbed, and Grima picks up the worst possible time to try and pick her up right after he dies, and he's like, hey baby, how you doing? Get the fuck off me! And, you know, he goes over and he starts fucking around with the king and putting his tongue in his ear and everything and making him think all this crazy shit. So, of course, Gandalf and the Fellowship have to go there and they start exercising. Well, first, Gandalf totally bitches out Wormtongue in the awesomest sense ever. And then he goes over to Theoden and he slaps his shit around until he gets this straight. Turns out he was actually being manipulated by Saruman, portrayed by Dracula, but it looks like he left the stage. That's Saruman now. And he totally knocks him back. So, oh my god, I've lost my grip on Theoden. And, like, we see Theoden turn back into this righteous king who he is, and he totally beats Grima's ass. So they're on the steps of the castle, and he's about to deliver the final blow, when all of a sudden, Aragorn, for whatever reason, says, no, wait, enough blood has been shed in his account. Now, this is the second time somebody has majorly dropped the ball, because Grima knows all of their defenses, and he runs all the way back to Isengard. To Saruman, and they're totally gonna conspire to bring down Rohan. So, he's off there. They don't know that. Now, later he finds out his sons and his nieces are dead, and oh my god, fuck, what happened? I have an idea, guys. Let's take everybody to Helm's Deep. And Aragorn kind of tells them, yeah, you guys are probably in a massive amount of shit now. I should have probably let you kill Grima, but you know what, let's not point fingers, let's just get everybody and get over to Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep. Now, we go back to Frodo and their bondage slave, and they're going along and they find the Black Gate of Mordor, who's totally guarded by, like, you know, trolls and shit, and we see a bunch of really cool guys clad in armor walking towards the gate, which is another army. I really wish I had seen more of those guys, but, well, you know, whatever. And Frodo and Sam are like, alright, let's totally make a run for it. I think we can make it. Frodo, if we survive the first barrage of arrows, the cave trolls, and, you know, that entire massive army over there, we can totally do this. And for some reason, the saving grace in the party actually turns out to be Gollum, who knows the back door into Mordor. And they both look at him like, why didn't you tell us this earlier? And they decide, okay, let's go that way. And they kind of drag his ass off in the other direction, and we've had enough exhibition of the Black Gate. Now, back on the way while Gandalf, Theoden, and the splinter party of the Ring and Eowyn. And Eowyn, you know, Eowyn's totally hitting on Aragorn, being like, ha ha ha, how old are you, lol? Oh, I'm 81. Oh, what the fuck? Now, they also make some fun of Gimli and everything, but this is where the Warg Riders come in and they totally tear people's shit up, and Aragorn gets knocked off a cliff, presumably to die, and now Eowyn's love interest is gone, so maybe she's gonna go with the dwarf. So eventually they make it over to Helm's Deep. Gandalf rides off, and they're all there now. So, in some godforsaken ditch in a river, Aragorn's there, and he gets a telepathic message from his love interest. God damn it, I'm so bad with names. Arwen, there you go. With Arwen, and she tells him, look, get up. You're being a bitch. So he rides off, and like he totally does that 2 double door opening thing, and he's like, alright, let's get this shit on, yo.